Today I'm going to show you the Flight Pro model setup on the X14 for the FMS Cessna 182. So when you power on the transmitter,
welcome to Ethos. Throttle not idle. Switch warning. Throttle active. Flaps up. Throttle active.
so it's going to go through a process here. It's telling you throttle's not idle. Once you do that, checklist warning will go away. And then switch SF, which is switch F, which is your throttle cut.
Throttle disabled.
So once we engage throttle cut, we've got the model profile here. This is the Cessna 182. You can go into your models and choose the model that you want. In this case, we are just going the Cessna 182. I'm going to show you some of the features. So throttle cut is one of them. That's top right up here. And it'll give you audible alert, and the screen will switch from throttle cut to throttle active.
Disabled.
Then when throttle is disabled, if you
not armed.
give it throttle, the transmitter will tell you
motor not armed.
The motor's not armed. This is our reverse thrust switch. So if you bring it into the
motor not armed.
reverse thrust position, it will tell you again that the motor is not armed. This is our flap switch.
Flaps half. Flaps full. Flaps half. Flaps up.
This is going to be our dual rate or multi-rate. Really, we have a low, medium, and high here, and this will change the amount of throw on all of the control surfaces on the airplane, the rudder, elevator, and ailerons.
Low rate.
So the up position is low rates.
Medium rate.
Medium in the center.
High rate.
High rate down.
Medium rate.
This is for our flight stabilizer. This Cessna has a Reflex V3 installed from FMS.
Stabilization on. Stabilization off.
So down position being off.
Stabilization on.
Stabilization, or what FMS calls the optimized mode, will be in the middle.
Self-level mode.
And then the fully stabilized self-leveling is up.
Student's plane. Instructor's plane.
This switch is programmed if you have a second transmitter and you want to do a buddy box system for training. This pot switch is the screen brightness. So fully adjustable screen brightness. And this is your audible volume.
High rate. Medium rate. High rate.
So this is the volume for the transmitter. This button here will tell you your voltage as well as your altitude if your receiver is equipped with a barometer inside, but we do need the plane powered on in order to see that. And then this will give us the voltage. I'll go power on the plane and show you what it does. Now that the plane is powered on, you can see it displays 15.19 volts. And if we press this button,
15.2 volts, 303.1 feet.
So it gives us our voltage, and we are 300 feet above the position in which I last used this receiver. So every time you engage the throttle, it resets the altimeter. So once you put the plane on the ground and you activate throttle, it'll reset that altimeter to 0.
15.2 volts minus 0.7 feet.
So you can see a slight variation in altitude from absolute 0, probably plus or minus a foot, but it gets you a good idea of where the plane is at. As well as displaying the voltage here and giving you the audible readout here by the push button, there's also built-in telemetry for low battery warnings. So this being a 4S battery aircraft, it will give you a low voltage warning at 15 volts and a critical battery warning at 14 volts. The low battery warning should be enough time to land the aircraft before getting the critical warning and keeping your battery in good condition. The low battery warnings are only active when throttle is active.
Throttle disabled. If
you disable the throttle, it turns off the alarms. So if you're working on your plane on the bench after you've landed and you have a low battery, you don't get a consistent low battery warning over and over. And I'll show you how that works by disconnecting the battery in the aircraft. Now that I've disconnected the telemetry cable to the battery, it's no longer reading any voltage. So it's going to give us a low
battery critical.
It's going to give us a low and critical battery warning. If we turn off
Throttle disabled.
the throttle, the warnings now stop. On the back side of the transmitter, there's also two buttons. This one for reverse thrust, and this one for a panic button for self-level mode. When the throttle is engaged,
reverse thrust activated.
That'll give 100% reverse thrust for landing on short runways. In a burst with a half-second ramp up, so you press and hold the button on the back.
Reverse thrust activated.
And it'll give you full reverse thrust as long as the throttle is below -85. So if I press the button right now,
throttle to idle before arming.
It tells me that the throttle needs to go to idle before arming.
Reverse thrust activated.
And then it will engage it once throttle is at 0 when you press that button. You also have reverse thrust on a switch here.
Reverse thrust activated.
And this allows you to control reverse thrust using a switch and your throttle switch.
Throttle active.
The other button on the transmitter is a panic button for self-level mode. So if this button is pressed,
self-level mode,
you can press and hold it, and it'll hold the plane into self-level mode. So if you're ever in an area where you're uncomfortable with the flying situation, you can press and hold that button, and it'll hold the plane into self-level mode instead of having to reach up and flip this switch, but you can do that as well.
Stabilization on.
And so the button on the back will only say self-level mode when you're not in self-level mode. If you're already in self-level mode and you press this button, it's already there, so it's not going to say anything additional.
Stabilization off.
But if you're even in stabilization off, press and hold that button, it'll go self-level mode immediately.
Self-level mode.
So those are all your basic features of the X14 pre-programmed from Flight Pro. All right, so in the Cessna, this is where your reflex gets mounted. It goes in this direction, so you want the 5 wires that come out of the front of it to face the front of the aircraft. And these plugged in here, your ailerons, elevator, throttle, and rudder directly from the bottom of this circuit board here will go directly into the top there. The only one you want to separate from the throttle is this single yellow wire. This is your reverse thrust. And on this receiver, that's going to go into channel 7. Your S-Bus PPM mode wire will go into channel 6. And make sure that they are in the yellow or orange wires in the top pin. You can see there's 3 pins here, and they're marked on the side: minus, plus, and signal. The yellow and orange wires are signal. So you can see all of these orange wires are on top. Channel 1 being aileron, channel 2 elevator, 3 throttle, 4 is rudder, and 5 on this one will be flaps. And then this receiver will come with Velcro on the bottom, as well as the other side of the Velcro, and you should be able to mount it around here. Plenty of room in the bay of the Cessna 182 from FMS. These 5 wires here are for programming the receiver itself and doing updates and stuff, so you can just kind of coil those up and tuck them out of the way. This blue wire is the battery telemetry wire. So this has an extender on it with this pin, and that will go into the red balance port lead on the battery. You can kind of run that up here with the battery wire to the ESC so that you can remember to plug that in each time. In the Cessna, the battery will go here pretty much lined up with the firewall for your battery telemetry so that the transmitter can display voltage and give you low battery warnings. This plug here needs to be plugged into the red wire on the battery. This gives you full pack voltage, and the transmitter will let you know when the battery gets low.